The only trader that gets shit done. So in this video, I will be talking about what kind of a trader you have to be, what kind of principles and what kind of behaviors and actions you have to be taking as a trader in order to actually become the elite, the successful, the 1%. All right. My name is Harjot Singh and I am a trading performance coach, also a prop trader at a very prestigious trading firm. And let's just get right into today's video. What I'll be talking about is just these few things that make up high performance, because at the end of the day, trading is a high performance game. And you think that you can get away with trading and make all the money you want, the millions, and have the time freedom and the money freedom and the traveling around the world. You think that you can have that lifestyle but not actually give the sacrifice that trading requires to get that lifestyle. It's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. You have to genuinely start treating yourself like a athlete, like LeBron James, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Messi, like Rafael Nadal, like Serena Williams, and all of these top athletes. You have to start treating yourself like that. And the beauty with trading is that you don't have to be these Cristiano Ronaldos, like LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, like the, Steph Curry's and stuff. You don't have to be the top of the top of the top. You can just be good enough to be in the NBA. I don't even watch the NBA. I don't watch football, but I know Cristiano Ronaldo. I know LeBron James. I know Steph Curry. So these are like absolute legends, absolute best in their game. But does that mean the rest of the league, the NBA players that are below the rest of them, they're not, living the kind of good life or making the kind of money they're making? Not really, right? And so what I do is I try and take these NBA players, which is basically you, and then we try to make you the best of the best. And everyone is unique. Steph Curry is unique with his own abilities. LeBron James is unique with his, Michael Jordan with his. Like, everybody has a unique skill set, a unique set of advantages and disadvantages that they play along with. And so in this video, we'll cover a few aspects of these areas where I work with my clients and actually fix these areas. So you could go in and work on it yourself. And I think it's going to be greatly beneficial, because what matters is your practice. What matters is your training. And the training happens not when it's match day, not when it's game day, not when it's the NBA finals, but the practice happens when it's the off season, when nobody's watching, when the cameras are not rolling on you. In trading terms, that means what you do off the markets, off the charts, is actually what determines your success on the charts. And so I will be talking about all these things, all these principles, all these habits, and all these behaviors that you need to start deploying in your own life and start becoming your own pro athlete and ranking up in the athlete space, become the best of the best of the best. And you're not really competing with anybody. You're mostly just competing with yourself. You're just trying to get better and being a better version of you so that you can perform better in the markets. All right. And let's just get right into it. If you want to work closely with me and dive in deeper and stuff, there's a link in my bio just to book a strategy session with me, and we can figure out exactly what is your issue, what is your performance, what is going on with you, and then what do we actually have to do to get you the results that you want. All right. Anyways, let's get right into it. So the only trader that gets shit done. You, after this video, will become the only trader that gets shit done. All right. So first and foremost, we got to focus on health. And in health, basically, you got to be strong, right? Trading is about risk taking. And what is risk taking? Risk taking is basically equals pain. I trained for 5 months in Thailand. I trained Muay Thai. And one of the things that the coaches there and all the fighters there told me, the main wording is Muay Thai is pain. That's that's one of the things I learned there. And honestly, Muay Thai is hard, dude. It is very hard. But Muay Thai is pain. That's what I learned. And so trading is also pain. Like, can you think back into your own trading where you realized, like, damn, when you're in profit, now you want to close the trade because it hurts to be like in that trade. It's like every time, let's say you bought here, price goes up, now you're in the money, right? And then when price is starting to pull back, there is pain for you. Like, let's say your TP is like up here or something. When price is pulling back doing this thing, you feel the pain. You feel like, oh my God, all my open profits, unrealized P&L is going away. So that feels painful. And then when it starts going back up, then this feels good when it's going in profit. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you are feeling like, let's say you took a trade here, you took a buy, right? And then your stop loss is down here, and price after entry starts going down. You feel the pain. You're feeling pain, right? And that is basically trading. You have got to start increasing your pain tolerance, right? So if you're trading, let's say $5 max risk per trade, if you want to increase that to $10, there is more pain associated, increase in pain, because now you're risking more. Now imagine, from $10 and you want to become a trader that's ultimately trading $1,000 per trade. That is significantly more pain because the ups and downs of the P&L is going to be significantly more. And so you have a common theme, which is pain. You have to, that means, get used to pain. And as humans, we love, so human beings love. We love it. What we love? Pleasure. We love pleasure and we want to escape pain. That's what we want to do. We want to escape pain all the time. We want life to be easy and good and everything's well, but we don't want to experience pain. So the only traders that get shit done are the ones that embrace pain. You have to embrace pain. And when it comes to health, this is one of the easiest way you can start training yourself, because again, you are a performance athlete at the end of the day. It is very easy for you to come in here and embrace the pain. How do you embrace the pain? Very easy. Do resistance training. This is one of the easiest ways to start, training up your pain tolerance. And this is why, like, as a trader, you got to build your muscle, because like the stronger you are, the more you can like resist pain, the more you can embrace pain, the more you can handle pain. And so to do that, what you want to do is, if you don't work out, start working out. If you already do, then just make sure that this is what you're doing. I'll give you my personal example. So I work out 2 times per week. For now, this is personally what works best for me. I've tried X3 a week, but at the stage I am in my own fitness journey, because again, we're talking about trading here, but trading makes you get good at everything. Your whole life has to be good if you want your results in the markets to be good. So what I do is I do 2x per week and X2 a week. So like maybe, like Tuesday or Thursday, I'm working out these 2 days, or like Monday and Wednesday, like whatever. Just 2 times a week is when I'm working out. And I have a journal. In that journal, what I'm doing is I'm tracking how many reps I've done and how many sets I've done. Which means normally in one exercise, if you don't know anything about working out, then in one set, you do X number of reps. Okay, so this is like one whole section of your workout. So for me, I have to do push-ups, right? I do some push-ups, and then that's one set of push-ups. In one set, I do, let's say, 24 push-ups. Okay, and then in that same session, then I will do a total of maybe 2 to 3 sets. Again, you got to push yourself, right? And it sucks. Every time I do a push-up, I'm doing it until I am going to failure. which means around 22 to 24 push-ups. Like, I can't do them anymore. I'm struggling, it's tough, it's difficult. I'm feeling pain. This is the main thing we're talking about, right? Pain. We're talking about pain. We want to increase pain tolerance. And so one of the easiest ways is to make your muscles feel the pain. And what that does is when you're actually trading in the markets and you got risk on the table, which equals pain, you can in fact tolerate more. You can not get swayed by your emotions. You know, you will be able to tolerate more, so you won't be emotional. And so you will make the logical behaviors and decisions in the market. All right? And that's what you want. So how do you actually just do this in terms of like when you're not in the markets, when you're actually working out once or twice a week? Very simple. You want to push to failure. What this does is it trains your pain tolerance in your muscles and in your mind, which then just increases your performance in the markets, because now you're able to tolerate more, you're able to embrace more pain. All right, so that's one. The first thing, health, very, very important. So we talked about physical health, and when you do the push-ups, you know, it's gonna put a lot of mental load on your brain, which is very good too, because brain is also a muscle. Your brain is also a muscle, and you want to train the brain muscle. And the brain is the one that's releasing all the hormones, all the cortisol, all the, you know, you're feeling the fear, you're feeling the emotions when you're in a trade. That's the job of the brain. That's what the brain's doing. So if you can strengthen your brain, you can just catapult your trading to the next level. And this will have an immediate effect, right? Next thing is, so we talked about physical health. Next thing is mental health. This is, if I argue, even more important. But again, both of the physical health and mental health kind of go hand in hand. Mental health, you know, so for me, I suffered a lot of anxiety. I've recovered and healed myself from very severe anxiety and very severe depression. And I've had to, you know, take medication. I've had to go to the mental hospital to, you know, fix myself and do all this stuff. Hospital. Let's just spell it that way. Hospital. Anyways, I've had to do all that stuff. And why? In the name of trading. Because with anxiety, with depression, there was just no way I was able to consistently execute on the markets, in the markets, and execute like my strategy and my setups and my system, because I would just have so much overwhelm. I would just be thinking so much. So what you want to do is start doing breath work. Breath work. I won't go into very deep detail into what this stuff is, but you want to start doing breath work, which is the simplest way I'll tell you is start breathing, because it's your nervous system that doesn't allow you to become a profitable trader, or doesn't allow you to perform at the highest level, because under pressure, you break. You break. And the trader that gets shit done does not break under pressure. There's just no other way. So you have got to not break under pressure. So again, you might have depression, you might have anxiety, you might have whatever other mental illnesses, whatever it is. You might have, you know, low self-esteem, low self-worth, you don't feel worthy enough. You might have anger issues, you might have all this other stuff, like whatever your mental ailment is, you might have so many. Breath work is a very big solution for you. So the simplest thing I can tell you about breath work is it's just a breathing technique. So try this. Try the 4-4-4 Navy box breathing method. So this is Navy breathing. This is literally what Navy SEALs are taught to do when it comes to training them for the high stress situations. It's called the 4-4-4-4 box breathing. So how do you do this, and what does this mean? So the 4-4-4 box breathing is a way to breathe, which is You inhale for 4 seconds. Inhale. You exhale for 4 seconds. You hold for 4 seconds. Hold the breath. And then you, for 4 seconds, exhale. And then for 4 seconds, you hold. So that's what makes the box. And in making the box, you're basically breathing and regulating your nervous system in real time. So that's why it's called the box. You regulate your nervous system. I'm just going to call nervous system NS. And so just look at me and see how it's done. When you breathe, you just 4 seconds breathe, hold, and then 4 seconds out. Hold 4 seconds, and then breathe for 4 seconds. Hold, and then breathe out. Hold, and that's what makes the box. All right, this is one of the easiest and just simplest thing to remember about box breathing. But the beauty is, you don't want to be doing this when you're trading. You obviously want to be doing this when you're trading, but you want to be doing this off time, when you're not trading. Off time, on your off time, when on your off season, on your practice time, in your summer vacations, like in that kind of thing. You want to be doing this when you're not actually trading, so that when you are trading and there's risk, there's going to be risk, you're going to be feeling all these things, emotions and stuff. What do you default back to? You default back to box breathing. So you have risk, you have emotions, and instead of going on some random emotional trading spree, you default back to box breathing, because that's your default state. That's your normal state. That's just what you do. And that prevents so many losses, so many bad mistakes, so many errors. It prevents all this stuff, because now you're present in real time. You are aware and present, and so you can catch yourself making the mistake. You can catch yourself doing something stupid or about to do something stupid. That's what traders that get shit done are different from normal traders. The traders that get shit done, they do not do the things the same way like normal traders. They don't after the fact realize, oh, I made a mistake. They are very hyper aware and good at, in real time, before they're even going to make a decision, making the decision and knowing whether or not they're making a mistake, and then putting a pause. It's like a circuit breaker. They're able to circuit break and prevent overload. So we don't want to be overloaded. We don't want to do that. As a trader, the markets is already stressful enough. We don't want more stress. So the box breathing is another one of those methods. Another thing you have to start doing is begin doing shadow work. Shadow work is basically this very deep inner work, which basically, your traumas, your fears, your whatever, your history. It's a study of all this stuff to figure out why do you do the things you do? Why do you think the way you do? Why do you behave the way you do? Why do you feel the way you do? So your thoughts make you feel things, and sometimes it's the other way around. Your feelings make you think certain thoughts. They both kind of go hand in hand, but let's just assume you have a thought first that makes you feel something, and then that feeling makes you take some sort of action, whatever that action may be. What we want to do is we want to make sure that while we're trading in the markets, this action that we're taking is the action of a successful, profitable, efficient, high-level, elite trader. And if you can't control this, shadow work is going to be that thing which helps you figure out your patterns, your history, why you think the way you think, why thinking like that, you know? Like one man's mountain may be another man's molehill, you know? Like if you are trading $5 per share or something, or like per lot or whatever, that might be very stressful to you. But then there are other traders that are trading $1,000 per lot. It's both human beings. You're both human beings. Why can that person tolerate more risk per lot and you can tolerate less? You got to start figuring this out. There's no right or wrong, but everybody has their own thing. And so you got to start figuring out your patterns. That is extremely important. And so shadow work really works with there. Right. So I'll stay with mental health with these two. Stick around, keep watching, because I've got another one. What we're going to talk about next is more like your technical edge, right? So in terms of technical edge, how do you spell technical? Technical. All right, I made some spelling errors here, but I don't care. Technical, technical edge. Let's just go with that. Technical edge. You know, what's your time frame you're trading? You got to be very sure of that. I personally teach my clients and like help them build like a 3 time frame framework. So like, you know, like me personally, I like looking at the daily, I like looking at the 8 hour, and then I like executing on the 4 hour. That's just me personally. Everyone's got their own. I've got some clients that like doing, you know, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. Some clients love doing the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. Like this is again really unique, right? Steph Curry can't, you know, pretend to be like LeBron James, but LeBron James can't pretend to be like Steph Curry. They're both unique, but they're both good. Both work, right? Same thing. So time frame in terms of technical edge is important. Another thing is your entries. You got to be really clear on your entries. Like you have to define them. You have to define your exits. You really have to define your exits. And this is a lot of work. These got to be flexible with different market conditions, but at the same time, they have to be structured and almost robotic, because that's just the plan, right? It's got to have all these principles. And in the past, I've had systems where it was just too flexible, or it was just too structured, or it was just too robotic. But you kind of have to have a healthy mix of all of them. You know, you got to be human. You got to be aligned. You got to be someone that can actually execute that edge, that system. You can't say, hey, I'm gonna, you know, every time I take a trade, I'm gonna use the EMA as my stop loss. But the markets is so different in different conditions. So like, you got to be very specific about these things. And these things take time. They really do take time to figure out and test, and they take nuance. This is the main holy grail of trading, nuance. You have to start picking up nuance, because one common thing I see with all my clients and just all the traders that I talk with on a regular basis is that they don't have nuance, and they have a very simple and basic strategy which works for a while but stops working. It just stops working, and then they kind of blow their account. They make some money for a bit, and then suddenly they keep pushing. They start revenge trading. It's not working. They revenge trade more. They make more mistakes, and then that's it. The game's just kind of over like that. You don't want to do that. All right. Another one is, so I talked about entries, I talked about exits, I talked about time frame, TEST, time frame, entry, stop loss, target, right? So the exits is gonna be, so when it comes to exits, you know, you gotta have your stop loss, and you have to have your take profit. Like, how do you determine these things? How do you go about this? This has to be planned. This has to be understood, and there's a lot of nuance in this. Again, lots and lots of nuance. The better you get, the more nuance you get, the more refined your 3-point shot, the more technique, the more advanced you get, the more nuance it's gonna get. The more nuance you get, the more elite you become. The more elite you become, the more risk you can handle. The more risk you can handle, the more money you can manage. The more money you can manage, the more money you basically make as a trader, the more profitable you are. And ultimately, what do you want to do? You want to make money from trading. You don't want to sacrifice your time. You want to sacrifice money for money. You want to make money. This is how you do that. All right. Another final component, and I'll leave you here, risk management. You have to be managing risk. This is the number one thing. You know, in my time with the prop firm that I'm trading with, traders have come and gone. Traders have come and gone. They've been hired. They've been sacked. The main reason, risk management. The only people that have stuck and stayed so far is risk management. Even if you're a losing trader, but if you have good risk management, you still have potential. You still got a chance. But if you're a very good trader with very poor risk management, you have zero chance and you'll be fired, especially in an institutional setting. There is just no space for you. There's just no time and resource for you. You will be fired. This reminds me of a story the head trader at the firm was telling me. He said, you know, there was this trader, he was training him for like 2 months, and then suddenly one day he goes rogue and he took 40 trades in one day, which was not what he was trained to do. 40 trades in one day, and he just had no risk management. Right after that day, he got that warning call from the head trader, and he was done. He was gone. No longer part of the institution, no longer part of the firm. Boom. Why? Risk management. He just lost his shit. He was not one of those traders that gets shit done. A trader that gets shit done is always on top of the game. If you want to become a trader that gets shit done, you know, these YouTube videos are amazing, but there's only so much they can do, and they're very generalized, but each trader is so specific, and that's what I do with my work. I help every trader with their specific unique situation and take them from wherever they are to where they need to be to become the person they have to be, the trader they have to be, to get the results they want to get consistently, long-term, sustainably for the rest of their life. That is the main goal. This is not like a short-term, 1 month, 1 week, 2 month, 3 week results kind of thing. I want traders to have results for the entirety of their life so they can provide for their families, so they can have the free time they want, they can travel the world and do all the amazing things that they want to do and they're here to do, and have zero regrets at the end of their life, right? So link in the bio, just book a strategy session with me and let's just chat. Let's see where you're at, what your problems are, and how we can work together and see what is needed for you to actually get to the point you want to get to. All right. So besides risk management, nuance, I would leave you with nuance. Since this video is getting a little bit long, but I just want to leave you with nuance. This is very important, nuance. To get nuance, start using AI. You already use AI for a lot of things. Start using AI, the ChatGPT, the whatever, the Claude, the whatever it is. Start analyzing your trades. Start tracking your trades. You need you need to start doing this. If you want a tracker that I personally use and I built, it took me 2 months to like build, but 8 years of trading experience to like figure out what needs to be built inside that tracker. Just book that call as well, and I'll just give it to you on the call if you really want it. Anyways, you need to start using AI. It is important, vitally important, to help you find nuance. That means finding where are you making mistakes. If I trade at 10 a.m. and is it better for me to stop trading at 10 a.m. because I'm making more losses based on the data I have? Again, data collection is so important. So like even with your working out, every time you go hit the gym, you hit the workout. This time I did 24 push-ups. The next time I hit the gym or I hit the workout, I gotta do more. I gotta do at least 24 and 25 to beat that. That's where the strength is. So you need your data even with your trading and stuff. And then if you can feed this data, you can actually, not if you, but you can feed this data to AI, prompt AI to be your trading coach or something, and then say, hey, you're my trading coach and you're helping me find nuance in my trading, and this is my data, this is all the trades I take. I am more of a trend trader. This is my trading plan. This is exactly what I'm looking to do in my trading. Based on this, have I followed my plan? Based on this, when is a good time to be trading? When is not a good time to be trading? Based on the trades I've taken, what are the common mistakes and errors you're finding? XYZ, XYZ. There's just so much stuff that goes on like this. And, these are just such basic things, such practice things that you have to do when you're not trading, right? So this is not sexy at all because it's not the charts. It's not buy and sell, click buttons and make money, lose money. It's none of that. It's literal practice. Most traders just want to come in the game and they think it's just money, 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 and they never really put in the actual reps, the actual practice. So you have to practice. I'm gonna leave you with that. Just practice. All right, and link in the bio for a call with me, strategy session. You can book a strategy session and I can really help you figure all this out. I can be your coach to really figure everything out. So link in bio for a strategy, okay, I can't even spell, strategy session. It's difficult for me to like kind of spell, talk, think about something, what I'm talking about, and then also spell. I was never really grammatically and phonetically the strongest in school. So strategy session, book a strategy session, link in the description, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.